Hello, my name is Jessica, and welcome to my very first vlog. It is almost Valentine's Day, so I thought it would be really fun to do a Valentine's Day reading vlog. So the first thing that is going to happen is we are about to head out, go grab some food, and go to the library where I understand they have a blind date with a book. So I'll take you with me for a little bit of that. Hope to see you back here in a little bit, hopefully with a book that we can unwrap together and decide what we're going to read. Here I am back and I have books. Reach over here. So I have been to the library. I have picked up all of my holds, of which there were many. That's the back. There were many. Picked up a copy of Circe, which I'm probably not going to get to this month, but you know, hope springs eternal. Picked up the Way of Kings, which I've actually already finished now, but now I have the very large physical version to remind myself why I read it on the Kindle. And I have this. So let me get it close, see if you can see that. So the description on the book says Lesbian Necromancers in Space and adult science fiction. With a description like that, I don't know how I could not pick up this one for my blind date with a book. So I'm going to go ahead and unwrap it so that we can see what it is that we're dealing with for the first book that I'm going to read for this vlog. All right. See. I was always one of those people that likes to unwrap things very carefully because my grandma would get mad at you if you didn't save the wrapping paper so that she could reuse it again later. Did anybody else have a grandparent or a parent who was that person? Because I cannot tear paper. It upsets me. So, all right. It's what I thought it was, and I am so excited. So it is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. I think that's right, Muir. I'll look it up. So it says, brought up by unfriendly ossifying nuns, ancient retainers, and countless skeletons, Gideon is ready to abandon a life of servitude and an afterlife as a reanimated corpse. She packs up her sword, her shoes, and her dirty magazines and prepares to launch her daring escape. But her childhood nemesis won't set her free without a service. All right. That is super unclear what that is about, but I am excited because I have heard a lot of great things about this book, and I actually think I'm on the line for the ebook at my library, but the line is super long, so who knows when I'm going to get that. So I'm going to go ahead and read the physical book, So that's going to be the first book that I'm going to read for this vlog. And then my plan, did I bring my Kindle? Hold on, let me grab my Kindle and I'll tell you what the other book is that I plan to read. All right, so the other book that I'd like to read is Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher, which I have the cover of right there on my tablet. And let's see what the synopsis says. Sarkis is an immortal swordsman trapped in a prison of enchanted steel. When Hala draws the sword that imprisons him, Sarkis finds himself attempting to defend his new wielder against everything from bandits and roving inquisitors to her own in-laws. And the sword itself may prove to be the greatest threat of all. So I've heard that this book is about characters that are a little bit older and a little bit more unconventional for a love story. And it also sounds like it's going to be really cute, which I'm very into. So let's go ahead and just read the first line of this book. Hala of Rutgers Howe had just inherited a great deal of money and was therefore spending her evening trying to figure out how to kill herself. I think it's going to be cute. T. Kingfisher never disappoints me, so. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read the first line of this one because I always love to know what the first line of a book is. In the myriadic year of our Lord, the 10,000th year of the King Undying, the kindly Prince of Death, Gideon Nav packed her sword, her shoes, and her dirty magazines, and she escaped from the house of the Ninth. I think that sounds like it's going to be really fun. So this is my blind date with the book, so we'll see how it goes, but I am really hopeful that I'm going to just love it. And then, again, once I'm done with that, I am excited to read Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher, which sounds like it's going to be really cute. So those are my reading plans for this week. Sword Heart's about 400 pages. Looks like Gideon the Ninth is, let's see, 448 pages. So that's, I can't do math, 900-ish pages for the week, which is a lot, but not impossible depending on how busy I am. So my Kroger order came in the middle of me filming this, so I need to go put away my groceries, but I will be back later. All right, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so I am making chili. Specifically, I am making this super creamy white chicken chili with seasoned tater tots from Pinch of Yum. Should be delicious. I'm in my car, I'm ready to go to work, and I am waiting for my heater to defrost my windshield. So I thought while I was doing that, I could do a little bit of a reading update. Last night, I read 60 pages of Gideon the Ninth, and I have to tell you all that I am so into this book. It is so weird. I think the main thing that I wasn't really expecting was that it was going to be funny, but it is super, super funny. Gideon is a character who is probably kind of hard to love. She's tough. She has a lot of defenses. She has a really kind of juvenile sense of humor, which for some reason is just really working for me in this context, and I am just so into this book. It's very dark. I've seen a lot of people say they didn't really understand what was going on at the beginning, and I can see that. I don't feel like the world is really something that the author is interested in explaining right off the bat, but that's okay because I read a lot of fantasy books and I'm okay with not knowing what's going on for a while. So, first 60 pages done, really enjoying it. Wish I could bring it with me to read on my lunch break today, but I cannot because I don't like to carry a physical book with me. So I do have my Kindle with me for work. So I'm going to probably try to start Sword Heart on my lunch break today. If I get a lunch break, I don't always get a lunch break, but if I do, I'm definitely going to start that because I'm excited for reading that. And then I'll be back later today with another update. All right, so it does look like I'm gonna have time to eat some lunch today, which is pretty exciting. Cafeteria lunch today is quiche with a muffin, fruit salad, vegetables. We have very good food here. It's one of the advantages of working in healthcare, I think. So excited to get started. It's time for some Persona 3. Had a really nice evening playing some Persona 3. Now I'm gonna sit down and try to read for about an hour on my book. I didn't mention, but I did check the audiobook out of the library. So I was able to listen to that on the way to and from work today. So I got to page, looks like 72 in the book. I feel like audiobooks are so slow. I really struggle with them, but it's a little bit extra from where I got to last night. So tonight I'm going to try to read for about an hour and then be back with maybe a little bit more of an update tomorrow. Good morning. It is dark o'clock and I am ready for some coffee. After I have my coffee this morning, I'm gonna try to get a little bit of reading done before I have to get ready for work. Last night, I was really trying hard to make it to 100 pages in Gideon the Ninth, but after I reread page 97 3 times, I realized I should probably just go to bed. So I'm gonna try to catch that up this morning before I have to go in. So she pulls out this decorative sword that is on her wall, and to her amazement, there is a man trapped inside of the sword. And that's about as far as I've gotten. They're kind of going back and forth and scheming on exactly how he's going to help her get out of this situation where she's locked in her bedroom. And so far it's super cute. It's really funny, which I don't know if I was necessarily expecting, but I am definitely looking forward to it. So far it's given me great vibes. I love the main character. She's a little older. She is she's definitely not an ingenue. She's a little bit older. She's been married before. She's kind of, settled into this spinsterhood. And now she has met this man that lives inside a sword. So that's really fun too. So that's my reading update for today. I've got to go grab my lunch and head into work. And I will see you all later. Looks like I have a reading friend today. Is that right, buddy? Yeah. I'm not paying attention to you because I'm paying attention to that mean old book. I'm sorry. That's rough for you. What a cutie. So I say that I don't like to carry a book with me, but I could not stop myself from bringing this in to have with my yogurt today because I am so excited about the book. Good morning. I am going to sit down this morning and do a little bit of preliminary editing for this vlog because I feel like it's going to take me a little bit of time. But last night we went out for Valentine's Day, which was amazing. We had Indian food at our favorite place. And if anyone is ever in the Cincinnati area and needs a recommendation for the best Indian food that I've ever had, I have one for you. So just ask me in the comments. Happy to give that recommendation. Last night I read I'm at 69% of this book, which I think that Gideon would probably think was really funny. You can see where my bookmark is. I anticipate that I'm going to be able to finish this today. I'm kind of at the place, every book has a spot where you're like, I need to finish this book now. And honestly, I wanted to finish this book last night, but I was too tired. So today I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to finish the book, and then I'm going to be back a little bit later to kind of chime in with my final thoughts. Have a great day. All right, I am back, and I have just finished Gideon the Ninth. And I have to tell you, like, I'm kind of at a loss for words right now because this book just blew every expectation I had for it, just completely out of the water. I don't know what my expectations were because I knew so little about it, but I mean, absolutely, this book was fantastic. I loved the characters. It was funny. It was gory. It was angsty. It was, see, I can't form words right now, just even talking about it, but it was fantastic. I even read all of the action scenes. And if I'm being honest, usually if there's a battle scene in a book, I just kind of go, yeah, that's action. I don't really need to read that. But it was so imaginative to be able to come up with an entire world that was this well realized, that had rules that made sense, that was built on necromancy and necromancy being real. I don't even know. And then the ending just took it to this totally different place. And I feel like I need to read the sequel tomorrow, which I'm not going to do because I have a lot of other things I have to read first, but definitely going to have to read the sequel soon. Definitely going to be reading that. And I have really, I have to say, enjoyed making this vlog. So this is the end of the blog. I am still reading Swordheart, but I don't think I'm going to get to finish it by the end of this week. So I think we're going to go ahead and end it here, and I'm going to make another video where I talk about what I thought about Swordheart and everything else that I've been thinking about reading for the rest of February. But I wanted to come on here and give my most wholehearted recommendation, 5 stars. You know, sometimes you just know. I got about halfway through the book and I said to Sean, my boyfriend, I said, I don't know what the author would have to do to mess this up so much that I would give it anything other than 5 stars. This was completely a 5-star read. I recommended it to 3 different people today already at work because I had the book with me and they saw me reading it during my lunch hour and they were so curious. So I'm looking forward to hearing what they think. And if you've read Gideon the Ninth, I would love to know what you thought about the book. And if you haven't read it, let me know if maybe you might be more interested in picking it up now. Thank you for sticking around until the end of my vlog. I have had such a good time making this week, and I hope that you have enjoyed watching it. I'm definitely planning to do more vlogs and live type events in the future. So if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button. It really means a lot. Go down and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you all next time. Bye.